Should you stop giving compliments to women forever? No. Now I want you to start questioning the whole idea of giving compliments in order to show her your interest. Why? Because she is getting dozens of compliments on a daily basis, especially attractive women on Tinder, Instagram, at work, in the streets, malls, etc., etc. She is getting bombarded, brother.
It's too much!
And it's not because you had the courage to say hi that she's gonna treat you differently. Because other guys had the courage to say hi and give a compliment as well, right? So it doesn't do it for her. And this, I know it's not what you wanted to hear, but this is the reality. This is what I realized 7, 8 years ago when I was going outside on a consistent basis like a proper pickup artist, right? I was meeting 10 to 20 women every single day religiously. And I was giving compliments to each of them. Each of them would get a compliment from me, you know. And sometime I would get a number. Yeah, it would happen because, it's a numbers game. So at one point, a woman is going to say yes. But the problem was that if I would get a number, I would either get flaked on or have a date and be in the friend zone.
Because you waited too long to make your move and now you're in the friend zone.
Man, I was feeling super frustrated, angry at myself, lonely, and I felt really stuck. I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm giving compliments to this woman. I'm saying hi, I'm being courageous, I'm doing the work. Why they friends on me or fucking reject me? There's something wrong with me. And I started to question my self-worth at the time. I didn't feel good enough and, it wasn't really pleasant. And to fight this, to start improving myself, I thought, okay, I'm giving too many compliments right now. So how about I remove compliments out of the picture and see what happens? And of course, the first thought that popped into my mind was like, if I don't give compliments, how can she know that I'm interested in her, right? And then another thought that popped into my mind was, I'm going to get rejected right now, for sure. I mean, she's not going to feel my clarity. She's not going to feel my intent. Of course, she's going to reject me now. Very clear. And I had a few other thoughts, in my mind. And I said to these thoughts, listen, I understand you, but I'm going to do it anyway. And that's literally what I did. I was meeting women and going on dates from time to time without giving any compliments. Not at all. And it was a whole journey in itself, to be honest. Because, of course, at first I was getting rejected left and right and, feeling the frustration even more. But then I started to question, okay, how about I show my intent differently? Because there must be other ways, right? And that's when I realized that I could show my intent without uttering any single word. My whole vibe was enough in itself. And that's when I started to focus on relaxation. Because at the time when I would meet a woman or show up on a date, I was overthinking, I was feeling anxious, I was feeling stressed, I was feeling inadequate and all of this stuff. So I started to do the internal work. And at the time, the only internal work that I knew was meditation. So I started to practice meditation every single day for a year and a half. Literally every day, a year and a half. And this completely changed my vibe. I remember after a month of practice, I would go up to a woman feeling relaxed, maybe a little bit of anxiety, but truly relaxed. And I would become a magnet, right? I wouldn't say anything specific, any crazy stuff. But because I would look at her, deep in the eyes, relaxed, it was enough, which leads me to the second thing that I started to focus on, eye contact. At the time, I would always break eye contact. If a woman would look at me in the eyes, it was very uncomfortable for me and I had to look away. So I started to focus on relaxing my entire body and looking deep in the eyes of a woman, right? And it was not easy. It was really not easy, but I really focused on that every fucking day, right? Every time I would have an interaction, I would look deep in the eyes and relax my entire body. And more I became comfortable with this until it became my second nature. The third thing that I started to do was using touch. And again, I mean, I'm one of these guys, like, I was put, I think, on this earth to struggle with women. And maybe I don't look like this right now, but back then, every single problem that you could have, I had. So if you didn't know this, my parents were not really emotional available to me. Especially, they were not available with touch. So my mother was not really hugging me. She was not telling me I love you and all of that. And my dad neither. So for me, the whole idea of touching a woman was very, very scary, right? I thought it was weird. I thought it was awkward. I thought it was going to be a rejection, that she would think I'm a fucking crazy motherfucker for touching her and all of that. So it was hard. It was really hard to do that. But again, I said to these fears, I understand you, but I'm going to do it anyway, which I did. I started to use touch. And by the way, I didn't go on YouTube and look for ways to touch women, because my theory is that we know how to touch women, but we fear the reaction of the woman when we will touch her, which is why we overthink and then go on YouTube and look for videos of like, how do I use Kino? How do I touch a woman in order to create sexual tension and attraction and blah, blah, blah. No, brother, you're a man. You have a dick. You can express yourself from that, right? So I started to play with touch. Got rejected a lot. I had a lot of awkward moments where, there was a silence and I tried to touch and she pushed me away, and then I was freezing and I didn't know what to do and I didn't know what to say, and it was terrible. Many times it happened, but I kept on doing it, until I became really comfortable with it.
I've made it! I'm finally a man!
This is literally how I realized that giving compliments was not really necessary in order to show my interest. I could just go up to a woman in the street, for example, say hi, and the hi that I say, the hello that I say, is enough to let her know that I'm interested in her. And now I want you to understand this also. So many women are getting approached by guys in the streets, malls, bars, clubs, and all of that. Just the act in itself to say hi to her is enough for her to know that you're interested in her. So if you want to give her a compliment, it has to be genuine, right? You don't want to give her a compliment because you want her to know that you are interested in her. It is not necessary, because just the act in itself, your vibe, your sub-communication will communicate that. You don't need to use words like another layer to let her know that you're interested. It's just too much. But if you genuinely feel in your heart to give her a compliment because you really notice something about her and you have that in your mind, then go ahead. I'm not against compliments, but it has to come from your heart. It has to come from your core, from your bones, right? And if that's the case, the compliment you will give her will have so much more impact. It will not be a generic compliment that she heard before, that she's just too tired and, deja vu. It will have an impact on her, because it can have an impact on her, even though she received it so many times. But it has to come from really like the essence of your soul, right? If you want to receive a whole course on how to create a date opportunity with your ideal woman every single week using the masculine alignment process, I have a whole free course. So you can click on the link down below in the description. You can have access to it. It's for free. You just have to give me your email and then you can unsubscribe from the newsletter, no problem. And you actually have like a whole process to help you with that, and it's going to help you transform your vibe so that you don't have to use compliments in order to attract women. Thank you for watching, my brother. I see you.